Hi, it's Matt Kendall here, and I'm here with Mariana. And Mariana is, well, she trained it was last year now, online, did the online training, and she's completed her case studies. And so she's going to be certified today. So we're going to get her to the association and certified and everything. Now, Mariana, I wanted to interview because she doesn't have any experience in the therapy or the coaching world, not in the sort of the delivery, the practitioner side. Because I get people coming wanting to do the IEMT training, but they're saying, I'm not a hypnotherapist, I'm not an NLP, I'm not a counselor. And I always say, well, that's okay, because I will take you to the course like you don't have any experience anyway, so it won't be a problem. And Mariana is in that seat today. So Mariana, how are we doing today?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks, Matt.
Cool. So before we get into it, can you tell us a bit about your background and who you are?
So I am not a therapist. I work in financial institution. I'm a financial advisor, so completely different background
Yeah.
to the therapy. However, I did study a medical college in Slovakia when I was 14 to 18.
Okay.
And I guess the health, the mind, and sort of well-being has always been my passion. And I've always been very interested in helping people and educating myself when it comes to that part of us where we
Yeah.
struggle emotionally or even physically, but emotionally mainly.
Cool. So you're working in sort of the financial sector. So how is it that you heard or experienced IEMT? What was your introduction to it?
Well, I had a great introduction to IMT because I was part of a boot camp with Yolanda. So I was doing the boot camp with Yolanda, and one of the perks of the boot camp is that you do get sessions every week and about your mental state and how you feel about the exercise, how you feel overall as going through the process. And then one of the benefits was doing the IEMT. So I've gone through that with Yolanda, and it was just mind blowing for me. I loved it. I couldn't believe how much stuff came up that I wasn't even aware of, and how much better it made me feel. It completely changed, shift something within me, and I thought, right, that's it. That's what I want to do as well. So
Yeah.
I signed up to your course, and obviously she recommended you highly. So there I was, signing into your course, literally a
Fabulous.
month after I finished the bootcamp.
Because Yolanda, for those who don't know, I'll put a link below here somewhere as well. Yolanda did the IEMT training. She was a client of mine, and then she did the IEMT training based in Brighton. And now she does IEMT in combination with it's like personal training, like transformation programs, that kind of. Mainly, I think it's just women's programs and stuff, if I remember correctly. So
Yeah,
she
it could be
worked.
for men as well, but mainly she works with
Okay.
women.
And her sort of her USP, as it were, is that she brings in the IMT to these sessions, and she just said, well, there's a whole interview around it, and that since she's been doing that, her results have just skyrocketed because they brought in, and you're a product of that package, as it were. So background in banking, you went along to one of Yolanda's courses, one
Boot
of her
camps, yeah.
boot camp. You experienced IMT for yourself. You decided you wanted to learn it, and so you attended. I think it was in October of
It
last.
was,
Yeah,
yes.
so in October, I think it was my first online training as well. I think it was
It
that one.
was, yes,
So
yes.
yeah, it's an online training version. So we did the online training, and it was over 3 days. And as you said, yes, you did some medical stuff, a number of years ago at school, but you haven't done any sort of formal therapy or NLP or hypnosis or any kind of training. So, as somebody who doesn't have any experience in training, what was it like for you? Did you find it overwhelming? Just what was your experience going through the training?
I mean, I love the training. I think everybody kind of noticed that every
Yeah.
day with me, kind of gave me. Yeah, I was so wowed by it
Yeah.
because we did so many little exercises as well. Just for the ones who
Yeah.
are thinking of doing it. Um, I was in Slovakia as well, so I was on holiday. I was at home,
Of
and
course.
I was doing it. I was doing it then, and it was quite nice for me to be um, with my family and do this training. So it was very, to be honest with you, I thought it was brilliant. I thought, for someone who's never practiced, I thought it was very well structured. It didn't feel rushed. It was very well explained, and you articulated things incredibly well. And I didn't at any point felt that, oh, I can't ask that, or that would be a silly question. It was very, very, very well run. And easy to understand as well. And it really did help, the exercises that we did with each other, because it pretty much backed up all the theory that we were doing each day. So you pretty much had the theory, the explanation, how it works, then question, then the exercises. So as a course, I thought it was one of the best online courses I've ever done. I loved it. It was brilliant.
Cool. Well, that's great. And like I say, that the way that I train, basically, 'cause everything's quite modular, and we do one thing and then we move on to the next thing and the next thing. So the way that I train is basically we have an introduction and an explanation of what that thing is. I then do a demonstration with somebody. You do your own exercise in these breakout rooms. So you get sent off in pairs or threes to your rooms for like 15, 20 minutes at a time to do it yourself. And then we all come back into the main room, and then we talk about what it was like, anything that came up, any questions, any sticking points. And then we move on. And I don't move on until everyone is basically caught up and knows kind of what we're doing, because you need to know the previous bit to go on to the next bit. So we did it over 3 days. And then what you do is, once you become a practitioner, you then need to go on and do 2 case studies. Now, these case studies are, 2 1-hour sessions roughly each, with people that, don't know about IEMT generally, working on anything you want to, really. Anxiety seems to be like the main thing, because everyone's, especially during the moment, the moment with COVID, there's a lot of anxiety sort of kicking around. But I always try and say to try and work with the kind of people in your case studies that you want to work with afterwards as well, because it just makes sense to do so. So there you were. Without the only training you had was from me. You went out into the world to use your skills. How did you find taking it from the training room to actually working with somebody? What was that like?
It was it was exciting, but it was also very scary. So I used pretty much all my family members, my closest friends, everyone who I felt that I could make a mistake or go back to my papers. The negative side of that, though, is that they try to kind of tell you in a mid sort of session what you should maybe ask next, or so I had to, but I learned.
But this was just practicing, was it? Just practicing.
Yeah, exactly. This is just practicing. So it was brilliant, because it makes you more assertive and makes you more comfortable and confident, asking questions and speaking, and in being able to kind of say, like, stop, you no need to speak too much about about the problem. So yeah, I just went and practiced, but I loved it. I think it was because it did so, it gave me so much benefits to my own well-being and to for me. So I think it really helps when you go up there and explain to somebody, and then seeing the changes. That's just brilliant. That's just really good. Am I 100% confident each time? No. But I feel like I am, every time I'm doing it, I am kind of going further and further, and trying different things within there. So I guess it's true that everybody finds their own rhythm. You just have to carry on going.
Of course. And when you did, so you're practicing with family members, friends and stuff. And then when you actually did your full case studies, because that's like 2 1-hour sessions.
Yeah.
How was it? Because I actually give people a structured plan of what to do in each session. If one thing happens, do that, like a yes, no kind of flow chart. How did you find following the flow charts? How did you find sort of actually doing a full session with somebody?
I mean, I didn't send any forms to any of my friends and family before when I was sending the form to a client and actually having details sent back really did help, because it kind of prepared me for the session. So I thought that was really good. And I still have my papers. I still have my questions written down. So kind of in my mind, I already know what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. So I find it quite natural now to follow the same sort of steps each time, and then just be led by what the client says, and then how we get on with the actual algorithms with it.
Because the first thing that we do with a new client, we give them a demonstration, a simple eye movement. And how was that when somebody who's never experienced anything like this before, and you give them a demonstration, what were people's responses like?
I mean, this is brilliant, because it's almost like you do a magic trick
almost
for someone, and then I'm still blown away by the fact that it works, because both of the ladies, literally something that was 10 out of 10 negative emotion or negative memory, it's gone from 10 to almost 0 to laughable. And I think that's a huge hook for a customer, for a client, because they think, wow, what happened here? How did that work? So they're eager to follow and then go through something a little bit more serious that they want to change about themselves, or about their feelings.
Well, it really puts you into the driving seat as well. When you do that, people realize, oh, this is something different. This isn't just like, I'm not just here with my emotional baggage to try and explain something. This is like, we're doing change work, and this is the real thing I try to get across. IEMT is a set of tools and techniques. It's not a conversational framework. You're actually using them like a hammer or a spanner. Well, you're not using a hammer or a spanner, but you're actually using these actual tools on specific things, whether it be a memory or emotion or an identity. You've actually got an eye movement to do it. We were just talking before as well, the difference when you see somebody in the first session, then when you see them a week later, the difference between. So can you just explain a little bit while we're talking about what it's like seeing somebody a week later after they've had IEMT?
It's incredible, and it still surprises me seeing both of the ladies, for example. One was on Zoom, one was face to face. I was saying to Matt that.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get in focus again. There you go. Sorry.
I was saying to Matt that the first one literally didn't wear any makeup, and she felt very down, very fragile. And the second session, I've noticed that she was wearing makeup. She was more happier, more upbeat. She had different energy about her, and she did say that herself. It was something that it came out on the review session straight away. Was, I feel so much better. I feel so much lighter. And then the other one, very similar. She felt released. She felt more calm. She was a problem. She had a problem with work, but it seemed to not bother her as much the week later. And then we laughed about it. She said, how does that work? But I think they do so much work themselves without even realizing. Somehow they do start to. They want to do things for themselves that are good, that are positive.
Yeah. And the thing is, if you feel worthless and rubbish and stuff, you're not really going to invest much into yourself in terms of self-care, literally making an effort. And once you start to incapacitate that way of feeling, you just start to feel naturally better. Again, we're saying you tend to drink more water, you tend to do more stuff, you tend to speak to more people. And it's sort of like you either spiral one way or another in life. You either kind of spiral down or you begin to sort of spiral up. And by doing the IEMT, it allows people to start doing more stuff, have better interactions, feeling better about themselves without it being a false empowerment of I'm a strong person. There's none of that sort of empowerment or affirmations. It's just, well, if you don't feel rubbish, what's that like? And then you can build on that. But what you're building on solid ground now, you're not building on very shaky foundations. And so you're not trying to cover anything up, if that makes sense.
I tell you also what I would like to add, what I've noticed is that there's a sense of taking control
Yes.
in your present moment now. Suddenly they understand that something that happened perhaps 25 years ago or 30 years ago has no longer has that hold of them, that power over them, that they're no longer the child, and that it's okay to let go of that. And you can see, and I think including myself, you have a sense of control because you very much feel that you are the person that you are today, and you want to make choices, right choices for yourself going forward. Bizarre, but it works. It really just changes you.
Well, absolutely. And one of the patterns of chronicity that we look at is the effect and cause. Because if you're at effect, it basically just means life's happening to you. Now, when we start to use IEMT, it starts to change that round. It allows you to do life rather than life happen to you and you need therapy and counseling and support. By having change work, it really allows you to see who you are, how you've changed, how you've sort of grown up and where you are now, and makes you much more present. And basically, it allows you to make better decisions now because you're making them based on the information in front of you and not your associations to the past.
Exactly.
Now, when you are making emotional changes in life and then making technical changes, and when I say technical, actual choices and things, wearing makeup, going out, seeing people, when you combine those two together, you get like a huge overall change, and your life's literally on a different trajectory. And so that's why it does work exceptionally well with coaching, with CBT, with hypnotherapy, with counseling. By combining IEMT and some sort of skill set, as it were, that's when you get extraordinary results from people. So on the second sessions we focus more on identity work, and that's sometimes a little harder to understand. But you, like I say, you've not had no training in this beforehand. How did you find doing the identity work with people, and what was it like using it?
I like the identity work because it does to people. It seems, I don't know, not all the time, but in my experience, the same thing that happened to me. You don't quite know what's going to come.
Yeah.
But something always extraordinary comes that surprises you.
Yeah.
And, I've had about, I've done so many of these now, and including myself, it's that aha moment.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the times it's something that we would never think about, why we believe that we are who we are, and, why we believe about ourselves, something that is actually not true.
Yeah.
But when you go back and find that specific shift when that happens, or that that experience, that change, that belief from weak from strong to weak, is incredible. And I've seen that in people, I've seen that in my friends, I've seen the changes that happen after the identity work. Is mind-blowing.
Yeah, because you're saying, because one of the case studies you knew and you've seen them develop since, and
massively.
Yeah.
Massively. And we're talking in areas across the board. My friend's looking for a new job. She has found the right person. She's in a loving relationship. All these things that were kind of not there for a long time, and hard to understand, why is this happening to me? Suddenly changed, and it's brilliant. And I do believe it's because sometimes we don't realize the beliefs we have about ourselves until something like IEMT comes along, and you go, okay,
perfect,
let's change it.
Absolutely. Now, one of the things which I get asked quite a bit is that once I've done the course, if I have a question, if I need help, what's it like? So what's the aftercare been like with any questions or problems that you've had doing IEMT?
I mean, the good thing is obviously the the important ones are close friends. So the questions, I'm always there to kind of answer questions. But same with me and you. I think I've had so many questions since October, and you've always been there. I can always message you on Facebook, and you always come back to me with an answer. So I feel that, the support is there all the time.
Fabulous. And just one last thing, really. There are some people who are thinking about maybe doing IEMT, maybe because they just want to go through the course for themselves, just to get the benefit of going through the course. And some people, of course, they want to sort of change their career. They want to get into coaching, therapy, and they may be thinking this is a good sort of way in, but they're not sure about, well, if I haven't done any training, will this be too much to deal with, whatever it might be. For those people who are kind of sitting on the fence thinking, is IEMT right for me to go and do? What do you have to say to these people who are on the fence? How can we knock them off onto the IEMT side?
Do it. Absolutely do it. I mean, it's life-changing, and it's not difficult when you have a good trainer like yourself.
Thank you.
True. But it really is. Go and do it. It's especially if you are interested and it's something that you would like to do. Don't let yourself, don't stop, don't stop yourself to learn something new, because not only it will give you a sense of purpose that you want to help others, you feel like you've been helped yourself through the whole process. And I think everybody would agree who's done the course, that somehow they felt that they've benefited with their own personal issues through the exercises. So you're learning, but you're healing at the same time. So I love that.
Cool. Well, thank you very much. Sort of going forward now you're going to get your certificate and become a practitioner. What's your plan? Do you have plans to go work with people? What do you want to now go do?
I'm going to be banging on Yolanda's door.
Okay.
I'm like, let me in. I would love to work with Yolanda, because I think that she's got such a great experience in IEMT, and the health, the exercise, and the well-being. It's it's where my passion is as well. So yes, so I'm gonna be. She will have me. Yolanda, if you're watching, I'm coming. And then I'll just carry on. I've already have so many people, free friends that just said, Mariana, could you do IEMT for this person? Could you do IEMT for this person?
And this is it. Do you know what? If you are a hypnotherapist or any kind of clinician of any kind, when you do IEMT with people, the results are so immediate and stuff that it creates a buzz around what you're doing, and it brings so many new clients through your existing clients. And you say you've already got a lot of people wanting to come and see you.
Oh my God, yes. The woman, I just got a little bit scared. I was thinking, am I going to be okay to do it? Because it's literally my friends' husbands, my partners, my friends, flatmates. They're literally, I have got about 5 men, which was incredible. I think they liked the concept when I said you don't need to talk.
Yeah.
And I've got literally, honestly, I've got another maybe 5 or 6 of my girlfriend's friends that just been speaking to about the IEMT. And obviously I'm not charging at the moment, so why not? It's fun to do.
And just think, when you are charging, so people who are already NLP practitioners or counselors, whatever it might be, to do the course, if you get one client, it will probably cover the cost of the course anyway.
Great value for money.
And there's no sort of upsell. There's nothing else to kind of buy from it. It's a one-off. The only other payment that it is just it's a monthly, not monthly, an annual subscription to the association. It's 50 quid a year. That's nothing to do with me. That's all practitioners. But then you get a listing on the website, and I get leads and stuff, and I get work from the website as well. But it then means that you get the continual learning, because they do webinars and stuff on there, and you also get all their help and resources. So cool. Mariana, thank you so much for taking your time out today. If you have any questions, please let me know. But it's been great speaking to you, and I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you, Matt. Take care.
Thank you.